Have you ever felt like something just isn't quite right with your body, but you brushed it off thinking, hey, that's just aging? Maybe a little fatigue here, a bit of dizziness there, or even losing your balance when you stand up too fast. We tell ourselves it's normal, right? But what if I told you some of those little changes might not be as harmless as they seem? What if those are your body's way of waving a red flag, warning you that time is running out faster than you think? Now, I don't say this to scare you. I say this because too many people over 60 are ignoring the early signs that something serious might be going on inside. And doctors? Well, they don't always shout these things from the rooftops. They see dozens of patients a day, and sometimes, if you don't speak up, things can slip through the cracks. But the truth is, there are a few symptoms, just 5, actually, that studies and medical experts quietly agree could mean a shorter life if they go unchecked. And here's the good news. If you catch them early, you can turn things around. That's why I'm sharing this with you today, not to scare you, but to give you back the power that fear tries to take away. You deserve to know what's going on in your body and how to fight for the healthy, vibrant years ahead of you. Because let's be honest, your story isn't over, not even close. Let's start with one that surprises most people. It's something we all experience at some point, but when it sticks around, it's a big red flag. I'm talking about persistent fatigue. Not the kind that comes after gardening all day or walking with your grandkids at the park. I mean the kind of exhaustion that lingers, when just getting out of bed feels like a marathon. When brushing your teeth feels like lifting weights. When you find yourself needing naps just to get through the day. Doctors will tell you fatigue is common in older adults. But the truth is, when it becomes your norm instead of the exception, it could mean your heart isn't pumping as efficiently as it should. It might also point to low oxygen levels in the blood, poor circulation, or even hidden infections. Some people find out months, sometimes years, too late that their fatigue was actually early-stage heart failure or anemia. But here's the hopeful part. Fatigue isn't a death sentence. It's a clue. And once you notice it, you can do something about it. Regular checkups, blood tests, and small changes to your diet and activity level can bring back energy you thought was lost forever. Now let's talk about another symptom that people love to ignore: sudden weight loss. You might think, isn't that a good thing? And sure, for some of us carrying extra pounds, it can feel like a win. But when you're not trying to lose weight, when your eating habits haven't changed, and the scale keeps dropping, that can be a sign of something serious. Sudden, unintentional weight loss after 60 could be linked to cancer, thyroid problems, diabetes, or even digestive issues that prevent your body from absorbing nutrients properly. And unfortunately, many doctors don't always connect the dots right away, especially if you're otherwise looking fine, but losing 10 or more pounds in a short period of time without changing your lifestyle. That's your body trying to tell you something's off, and catching it early can literally save your life. The third one might feel even more subtle. It sneaks in over time, and before you know it, it's changed your whole routine. I'm talking about shortness of breath, especially during everyday activities. Maybe walking up a flight of stairs leaves you winded, or carrying groceries from the car suddenly feels like climbing Mount Everest. You find yourself avoiding things you used to do without even thinking, just to keep from gasping for air. Now, some folks will say, well, I'm not 25 anymore. Of course I'm slowing down. And sure, a little change is natural. But when you're out of breath just standing up, taking a walk, or even talking for too long, it's time to dig deeper. Because that shortness of breath might be more than age, it could point to heart or lung issues that, if left untreated, can drastically shorten your life expectancy. And again, the key here is awareness. Once you know something's off, you can test for it. You can treat it. You can breathe easier, literally and figuratively. Now, these 3 signs, fatigue, weight loss, and shortness of breath, are often ignored or chalked up to getting old. But what if aging wasn't the culprit? What if something deeper is going on, and you could stop it before it's too late? It all starts by paying attention, by treating your body like a partner instead of a puzzle, by listening, not brushing things aside. And most importantly, by refusing to settle for answers like, it's just part of aging. Because you and I both know this. You've still got life to live, people to love, memories to make, Your story matters, and it's far from over. Let's keep going. There's another symptom that flies under the radar, but it can be just as dangerous. There's another symptom that creeps in slowly, and most people don't even notice it at first. It's subtle, it's sneaky, and it can quietly chip away at your health without you realizing the damage until it's almost too late. I'm talking about confusion or sudden changes in your memory. Now, we all misplace our keys sometimes or walk into a room and forget why we went in. That's normal. But what's not normal is when your memory starts affecting your day-to-day life. When you forget appointments, struggle to follow conversations, or get lost in familiar places, those are red flags. That kind of confusion can be a symptom of something bigger, like early-stage dementia, Alzheimer's disease, or even a side effect of medication interactions or infections. And here's something a lot of people don't realize. Confusion can also be a sign that your body is having trouble regulating oxygen or blood sugar. It can even point to a problem with your kidneys or liver, organs that, when they start to fail, impact how your brain functions. Think about that for a second. Your brain might not be the issue. It might be reacting to something deeper going on inside your body. But let me say this clearly, losing your memory is not an automatic part of aging. It's not something you just have to accept. There are things you can do, right now, that can improve brain function and help restore clarity. Staying hydrated, getting good sleep, eating omega-3 rich foods, staying socially active, and even doing simple puzzles or brain games every day can work wonders. And of course, if you notice consistent memory changes, it's so important to talk to a doctor who will take your concerns seriously, because the earlier you act, the better your chances of protecting your brain. Now, let's talk about something that many people keep quiet about, even though it's one of the most important symptoms to pay attention to: chest discomfort. I'm not just talking about the kind of chest pain you see in the movies where someone clutches their heart and falls to the ground. No, real-life warning signs can be a lot more subtle. It might feel like tightness or pressure. Maybe it's just an odd burning sensation in your upper chest or neck that comes and goes. Some people even feel it in their jaw or back. And the dangerous part is, it doesn't always hurt. That's why so many people ignore it. But these feelings can be the early signs of a heart attack or serious cardiovascular disease. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I've had these strange feelings before, and I'm still here. And that may be true, but the body has a way of whispering before it screams. Ignoring those whispers now could lead to something much more serious later. And listen, I'm not saying every little ache means you're in danger. But when something feels new, or out of the ordinary, or it sticks around longer than it should, that's when it's worth paying attention. And here's the thing, the survival rate for heart issues skyrockets when they're caught early. That's the game changer. You don't have to live in fear, you just have to stay informed and take action when something feels off. Whether it's a stress test, an EKG, or just a simple conversation with your doctor, that one step could be the reason you get to be there for your grandchildren's graduations or celebrate your 80th birthday with a dance. Now, I want to take a second and speak from the heart. I know these topics aren't always easy to hear. No one likes to talk about death or the things that might cut our time short. But avoiding the conversation doesn't make the problem go away, it just makes it harder to catch. And I'm telling you this because I want you to live longer, to feel better, to enjoy this chapter of life the way you deserve to. You've come this far. You've built a life full of stories, lessons, and love. And your health, your life, it's worth fighting for. These symptoms we're talking about? They're not a death sentence. They're a wake-up call. And the fact that you're here, listening, means you still care. You still want to live fully. That matters. So far, we've talked about fatigue, sudden weight loss, shortness of breath, confusion or memory loss, and chest discomfort. These 5 symptoms aren't always obvious. And that's why they're dangerous, because they hide in plain sight, disguised as just getting older. But now you know better, and when you know better, you can do better. There's one more symptom I want to talk to you about. It doesn't get as much attention, but it's just as serious and surprisingly common after 60. Let's keep going. Now let's talk about one final symptom that most people brush off until it's too late. Persistent swelling in your legs, ankles, or feet. Now, I know what you might be thinking. My feet have always swelled a little after a long day. And yes, sometimes a bit of swelling can be harmless, especially if you've been sitting or standing for a while. But when that swelling doesn't go down overnight, or starts to become a daily thing, especially if it's only in one leg, or comes with pain, redness, or warmth, that's when you need to stop and take it seriously. Persistent swelling, especially in the lower body, can be a sign that your heart isn't pumping blood as effectively as it should. It can also point to issues with your kidneys, liver, or even a blood clot, something that could be life-threatening if not caught early. What's happening is your body is holding on to fluid because something deeper isn't working right. And when your circulation slows down, when your organs are struggling, your body will send you signals like this. It's not just old age, it's a call for attention. And here's a little story I'll never forget. I once met a woman. She was 68, sharp as a tack, full of life, but she kept noticing her shoes didn't fit right anymore. She thought it was just weight gain or water retention from salt, but it kept happening. Eventually, her daughter convinced her to go see her doctor. Turns out, she was in the early stages of heart failure, and she had no idea. But because they caught it in time, she was able to make changes, start medication, and completely turn things around. Today, she's 74, walking every morning and still gardening like she's 40. That's the power of paying attention. Now, let me say this from my heart to yours. Just because we get older doesn't mean we lose control. In fact, the choices you make now matter more than ever. These 5 symptoms, constant fatigue, unexplained weight loss, shortness of breath, memory changes, chest discomfort, and swelling in the legs, these are your body's early warning system. It's not betraying you, it's trying to protect you. Your body is always talking to you. The question is, are you listening? You don't need to panic, you don't need to be afraid. What you need is awareness and action, and that starts with simply noticing what feels different. Does your energy dip more than it used to? Are your pants suddenly looser without dieting? Do you feel foggy or forgetful more than usual? Are your shoes tighter by the end of the day? Or is your breathing just a little heavier when climbing the stairs? These are the whispers. And the earlier you respond, the easier it is to change the story. The truth is, so many people wait until the symptoms scream at them, when they collapse, or get rushed to the hospital, or hear a diagnosis they weren't prepared for. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can catch things early, you can get checked, you can adjust your habits. You can take small, simple steps that have a massive impact. Things like eating a little better, walking more often, sleeping better, managing stress, drinking more water, and surrounding yourself with people who lift you up. And don't let anyone tell you it's too late. It's not. I've seen 80-year-olds who reversed pre-diabetes. I've seen 70-year-olds start strength training and feel like they're in their 50s again. I've seen people in their 60s make one small health decision, like cutting down sugar or finally going to that doctor appointment, and completely transform their life trajectory. That can be you, too. So, if you've noticed any of these 5 symptoms lately, please don't ignore them. Don't put it off for next week or when you're less busy. Your health is the foundation of everything you love. Your freedom, your family, your fun, your purpose. Take that seriously. Give yourself the gift of care. You've made it this far in life, and you didn't come this far just to come this far. You've got more memories to make, more laughs to share, and more mornings to wake up and say, I'm still here, and I feel good. And hey, if this video helped open your eyes or gave you something to think about, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you've experienced any of these symptoms, or if there's something you're doing now to stay strong and healthy after 60. You never know who your story might help. If you found this helpful, hit that like button so more people like you can see it. And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more videos coming that are full of simple tips to help you feel better, stay independent, and enjoy every year to the fullest. Here's to living strong, to listening to your body, and to making the rest of your life the best of your life. You've got this.